Alrighty. Good morning. Good evening. Good day, good night. And I just realized that I am in the camera shot. There we go. That's better. And the microphone was in the camera shot, I should say. Alrighty. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing well. So, first things first. I have a bunch of stuff written on paper, so it's not going to be particularly viewable at this time. I'm probably typing it out later. I wanted to get the conclusion of stuff done on record so that it's over with, so that other stuff can get done and be dealt with as needed from there forward, depending upon the results of this event. So we're gonna get right into it. So I've decided that I am going to just do away with the kingdoms and warfare modifications to combat to war scale combat. We're doing away with that. It's simply put, it is going to be a thing of either I decide to just go all in and learn the system and get whoever wants to join in on that part of the game with me to learn the system as well, and then we just dive and then fully integrate it, or I come up with something that I want to actually do after I sat down and thought about it at length, which is a much more watered down system where it's simple, it's easy, it's just raw numbers versus raw numbers, as opposed to this whole elaborate battle system. Especially when it comes to events, I think that, especially when they won't be events that do not involve player characters, I think it's better this way anyways. So without further ado, we're gonna get into the actual event. So Crimson Den 1, so we're gonna go with, so there is a Mercness, and then we're gonna go with Crimson, should be 2 or 1 Crimson Den monsters. And then Merc units. So we have, that's actually not true because that was all mock. Let's see here. So we don't have power level of the Crimson. Okay. So first things first is we need to determine the Crimson Den tier. So how powerful and how many Crimson corrupted creatures are within that den. And to do that, we're gonna get a good old, very handy dandy tool. And that is, we're gonna get, oops. Come on. Boom. We're actually going to do this so that you guys can actually see it a little bit better here. Let's see here. Can I just do this and have it? Okay, that's actually way better. All right. Here we go. So let's get right into this. So first things first is the percentile. So first things first is we need to determine what size the den is, or what tier of creatures. Now this is a minor event, so we get +10 to the roll, which means it cannot be tier 11 through 15. Thank goodness, because that'd be nightmare level. So here we go. Hopefully we roll low. So Den, the Crimson Den tier will be a 22 + 10, which is 32 A 32 is a tier 8. Dear Lord. Okay. So we have tier 8. All right, now determine the number of creatures. Number of creatures is determined by 1d4 plus den tier. So 1d4, 3. So there is 11 creatures. Man, oh man, for an early event, this is going to be insane. So this might be a problem here. This actually might be a problem that I might have to get players to try, like, Fractured World players need to actually find a way to address creatures that are beyond themselves. Might have to establish some allies. Okay. Next. All right. Next, we have to deal with the mercs. So the mercs are going to be a group as well. So D100 for the tier of the mercs, 28. 28 is a tier 6 group. So a tier 6 group of mercs. So this is actually pretty good. We are hopeful. And then we have 1d4 plus 2. There's 4 members. So this is a 4-man adventuring party. So we may be in a little spot of trouble here, but I don't think it will be too bad for too long. Okay. What just happened? That was weird. Okay. So that's taken care of. Now we gotta take care of the event. So, Crimson Den monsters. So, this is a tier 8 den with 11 creatures in it. The mercenary unit that is currently being sent out to deal with it is a group of tier 6. Is a group of T6. As a group of 4 at tier 6. So this is actually pretty hopeful. So this is going to be able to deal with this at a pretty significant amount. Now I don't have it written down on actual notes yet. I just have it on paper because I've been working on it at work on my breaks to make sure that I got this through this a reasonable manner. So the way that this is gonna work, and we're gonna actually go into homebrew stuff. We're gonna ditch a bunch of this stuff. We're gonna add a section. We're gonna rename this and rename this Crimson. Not Crimson. Crimson. And we're gonna move this up towards right here. And we're gonna change the color because we want, we're gonna go red because it fits a little bit better. Okay, so, groups versus den. Let's go dens versus groups. Versus NPC groups. Okay, we don't need the dice roller right now, but we will soon enough. So here's how this is gonna work. All right, so first things first, each side. All right, the den setup. Setup is one word. Okay, but so we're gonna just rule it out, and then I'll worry about the rules afterwards. So for now, or the rules afterwards, I should say, about typing it out. So for now, we're gonna do this. So the mercenary group event play out. So here's how the event is going to play out. We're going to get the... No, I don't want it like that. There we go. So here's what's going to happen. We have 11 creatures. We have the den, and then we have the mercs. We have 11 creatures. We have 4 creatures. Roll the rolls. Okay, so first things first. The den has 8 plus is a tier 8, which means they get a d8 on the die plus the number of creatures that they gain. So 11. So they get d20 plus d8 plus d11 or plus 11. The mercenary group gets this. They get a d20 plus a d6 plus 4. So we're going to start with the den on the defensive. So den. So the den's roll. And this is going to determine how much this group does. So because the den has 11 creatures, they can suffer losses more often. Or sorry, hold on. Which order version of this am I doing here? Sorry, no, that's individual creatures. This is meant for the dens. Okay, I got it backwards. So it is d20 plus d8, or sorry, d20 plus 8, and then we have d20 plus 6. And then we have 4 versus 11. So the group of 11 can lose a lot more times than the group of 4 can before they're annihilated. So we're going to roll these in order. So it goes highest to lowest for dice. So the den has the following dice. So we got 4d10, or d20 times 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, and there's a natural 20 in there. All right, so the den got a natural 20. They got a 16, a 14, and a 7. Now they get d8s, and we're gonna do 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, these go by order that they are rolled. So that is a plus 7, as a plus 1, is a plus 8, as a plus 2. Not looking good for the mercs. The mercs have a d20 plus 6. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness. Are they going to get swept here? So we have 17. We have 7. We have 5. And then we have 2. They get d6s. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have plus 3. Plus 1, plus 3, plus 4. We then have the following. Result. It is the den with a staggering... I'm just gonna get the calculator out because my brain is currently going a little bit mush. Minus 20. We have den, so the den wins with a 7. So den wins with a 7. We have a 9. We then have a 14, and we have a 9 minus 6. We have a 3. Okay. So, the den wins overall, and the Den win has clean swept the mercenaries. Now, if the victory is not by 10 or more, there is a minor loss. A minor loss means that for every 2 minor losses, the winner still loses a member. So it is still going to lose 2, as at the end you always round up for this, like round to the problem. So the Den loses 2 of its creatures, and the mercenaries are gone. Oh boy. So we still have a tier 8 dungeon, or tier 8 den, with 9 creatures in it. Actually, I have to check if I can roll this. So D8 plus or 8 plus 1D4 is still gonna be, yeah, it's still yeah, it's only 9 creatures, so it's still gonna be still a tier 8. With 9 creatures now. Oh boy, that's pretty bad. So this means that the God King's Ardent is going to have to push a significant amount of resources into this. So they're saying the mercenaries, there is going to be, so that means that 1 day is going to pass where they're going to cause some damage. So a tier 8 of damage. Jeez. That's not good. Let's look here. What's a CR8 creature? Let's see here. Looking for a CR8 beast. Tyrannosaurus Rex, no. It'd be a giant. Hydra, oh boy. Howlers. There's a lot of stuff in here at tier TR8. Jeez. That's problematic. All right. Well, where is the rewards table? Rewards table, this is going to be a tier 8, so let's see here. How much damage is this going to do? 28. 450,000 GP worth of damages. So, I'll have to set up a table for that as to what exactly the damages are, but 450,000 GP in damages. So basically, it leveled a farmland, a ton of farmland. It destroyed a town. It did a lot of damage. That's pretty bad. Okay, so that's 1 day of, that's 1 day, so I have to determine a bunch of the value of damages later, but that's a lot of damage. I have to check the price of things like strongholds and stuff like that. But if that does anything like a town, that's a lot of damage on a lot of lives. So day 2, that's day 1. Day 2, the God King's Ardent is going to definitely address this. The factions, God King's Ardent, I have not actually determined roughly how, in terms of what size its military is, but it is essentially backed by the entirety of the empire, so they're gonna have whatever resources they need at their disposal. I don't have a table designed to determine how big this is, but I can definitely roll. You know what, I'm gonna roll the Merc creation until I get a number of units that make sense for them to send, and see how many times that is, because the more time, because every time I have to roll, it increases the amount of cost it will be to them to maintain this. So they'll probably have to send at least 3 units, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, as a tier 1, a tier 8, and a tier 7. So we have a T1, T7, T8, and then we have 1, 2, 3. We have, in that same order, we have a party of 3, a party of 4, a party of 5. Okay, this actually looks promising here. So we're gonna go to the Crimson Den event. Day 2. Should actually be day 1. All right, so day 2, we have Den, and then we have God King's Ardent. We have 9 Den. We have a grand total of 9, 10, 11, 12 members for the God King's Ardent. And they're going to be sending in their best units first. Okay. Rolls. Den. God King's Ardent. Result. Okay. We have, the Den has a smaller number, so we have 9 now. Let's see what we get. Wish it wouldn't do that. There we go. Okay. So, we're going to reset this. We have 9 dice to roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 19, 18, 14. 19, 18, 14, 13, 9, 9, 3, 2, 2. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Next we have, it is still a tier 8 Den, so we have 8 and 9 d8s to roll. So, and this is in the order that they are rolled in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Starting from the bottom, we have +6, plus 3, plus 4, plus 8, plus 5, plus 4, plus 2, plus 6, plus 2. Okay. God Kings are dead. Now, this is the first 12, and they are as follows. They are, so the first 5. Five is T8. Four is T7. And then we have 3 T1s. T1s literally get a +1. T7s get a D6 +1. Okay, so, or a D8 -1, but never. No, they get a D8, D6 +1. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we got some pretty good dice in here. So we have 18, 17, I think. Nope. 18, 15. 14, 14. Also, this should be 16, and this should be 14. Uh, 762, 7632. 7632. Am I missing one here? Oh, 13. Oh, that's actually good. 7, 6, 3, oops, and 2. All right, now to roll the dice. So first 5 are 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is +3, +4, +1, 6, +1, and then the next 4 are 7s. So D6 +1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have +4, +2, +5, +7. Alrighty, so the results are as follows. We have 25 minus 21 is 4. Den takes a point, so that is unfortunately a dead mercenary. We have 22 or 21 minus 19, which is 2. We have 20 minus 15, which is 5. We have 22 minus 20, which is 2. So the tier 8 group is gone by the looks of things. We have a fat 14 to 14, so that is a 0, so that is in the favor of the God Kings Ardent. We have a 2 in the favor of the what do they call it? In favor of the God King. In favor of the Den. We have 5, so we have -3 here, which is good. Oops. We have -3, which is a handy little bit there. We then have 8 minus 8, which is a 0. And we have a big old -5 here. So here's the benefit. Anytime that we can reduce, so 0 means that nothing happens. So let's take a look at the damages here. So we have a -3 and a -5. That -3 can support another die. That allows it to be reduced. So we can take this -3 and make this a -1. And this is already used, and that kills that. But we're not going to do that because we want to actually save this group here. So we're going to utilize this to turn this into a -1. We're going to take this -5, and we're actually going to save these guys here at the top as well. So we're going to take this, result this in a -1 as an X support, and that saves that unit. So in the end, we have 4 fully destroyed units from the den, which is good. All right, we need to do this here. Result. The result is we have a tier. What? It's -4 creatures, -5 creatures, -6 creatures. We have a tier 3 den. Or we have a tier 8 den. Rather, sorry, not tier 3 den. With 3 creatures. The mercs are still fighting. Or sorry, fighting continues. So we're not ending the day yet. But it takes heavy blows. Now we have lost 1, 2, 3. We lost 2 tier 5s. Fighting continues. We lost 2 tier 5s, so, or 2 tier 8s, I should say. So there's 3 of them, and we lost 1 tier 7. All right. Day 2, part 2. We are going to get. We're just going to do that. I'm just going to do this here. All right. God King's Ardent is a grand total of 9, with it being 3s across the board. The den only has 3 members now. So we're going to roll these out. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have a 19. We have a 5 and a 2. And then D8s, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's actually manageable. +1, +5, +1. All right, we have 3. Oops, that's wrong here. I did this wrong here. +5, +1. All right, good. I didn't mess it up. Okay, so there's the dens. So we have the 4 or the 3 T8s. 1, 2, 3. We have a 19 also. Hey, you may actually see the end of this den. 12 and a 7. This actually might end it right here. All right, and then we need the 3 D8s. 1, 2, 3. We have a +4. We have a +3, and we have a +1. In every case, it is negative. So that's -3. That is -5, and that is -5 also. So for the grant, at the end of it all, oh boy, through sustained losses of not too many, grand total lost to the Crimson in this case has been 1 mercenary company, and 3 members of the God Kings Ardent. So a grand total of 7 adventurers are dead to the Den of Monsters, Den of Crimson Monsters. All right. Result. Den destroyed. Den destroyed. Den destroyed. Total losses. What were the mercenaries? They were tier 6. Yeah. 2 tier 3 members, tier 8 rather. Two tier 8 members of the God Kings Ardent. One member. Was it one member or two members? One member. Tier 7 member of the God Kings Ardent. And 4 mercs, 4 tier 6 mercs. 450,000 BP in damages. All right, this was a tier 8. Let's see what we can get as a reward for this. See if we can turn out something profitable. Percentile 66. A 66 yields 700,000 GP in rewards. All right. God Kings Ardent. Flames. GP in treasure. That should actually be in loot. So they have gained quite a bit of a small amount of capital. Arguably they are at a net loss here. 450,000 GP in to cover the losses of 7 individuals that are of significant power is definitely not something cheap. So that is unfortunate, but that is the result. Very nice. So I'm gonna write down those rules for that, all that later, but I just want to do a quick Friday stream, just kind of conclude the mess that has been going on. So essentially the rules are that this always benefits the offense. In this case, the Den is the defender, where the offense will always damage always gets an immediate loss. An immediate loss for the victor on each side. The defenders also lose a single unit each time, as well as lose a half unit should they gain victory, and it is not more than 10. If they gain victory on the offense, they can utilize the negative bonus to support another unit and try and turn that loss into a victory. And finally, once all units are destroyed, we get to determine the loot at the end based on the reward table. So 700,000 GP in treasure or in loot. Quite a haul. Quite a haul. But it has to pay some pretty expensive members, because 3 level 8s, 3 level 7s are not cheap. 3 level 1s are pretty cheap, but these are not cheap people to have. All right, so I will do an event post for the Discord, also as to where it occurs and what kind of damage is done and everything. But yeah, until next time, guys, really appreciate you swinging by for this short little impromptu stream on a Friday. I know I normally stream at this time anyways, but just to get this little mess dealt with that I've been trying to find a way to deal with for the last while. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the little mess here. And until next time, guys, have a good day.